Let's leave the Results Operations Centre for just a moment and take you live to the streets of Johannesburg. That's where we find my colleague Nickolaus Bauer. And Nick, you've been, I'm sure, speaking to people throughout the morning as you've been wandering the streets of Joburg. What have they been telling you?
Well, it's quite varied based on who we've been speaking to, Michelle. We were at Gandhi Square earlier and two voters spoke to us. One about their disappointment that the DA didn't score enough to unseat the ANC, or at least it looks as though they haven't scored enough to unseat the ANC in the economic heartland, Gauteng province. Much speculation ahead of these elections that was going to be the case. And then an ANC voter who was adamant that this time round the African National Congress was going to get it right. He actually had just come from handing in CVs at various provincial government departments, and he's of the opinion that the economy would be on the up and up. We're now in Yeovil, right along Rocky Street, and we're here to find out what the expat community reckons about these elections. Migration, illegal, legal migration, all types of it was a running theme in this election, and it was a case of either for or against, with the ANC and the DA having a message of being anti-illegal immigration, while the EFF they came out very, very strongly pro-African immigration. At least that's what it seemed like. Let's chat to one resident of Yeovil that has actually been a resident of South Africa for 30 years, he claims. And sir, you've been patiently waiting for us to chat to you. What do you reckon of these elections that have just happened?
The elections, they were right, but I think the EFF was supposed to win. You were supposed to get a change at least.
Why did you want the EFF to win?
At least to get a change and see what they are going to do from us.
Do you think things are going to change at all now after the election, especially when it comes to dealing with matters of expats in South Africa, people from the rest of Africa living in the country?
Let's hope so. They promised that before elections. Let's hope they are going to change.
What do you think needs to happen there?
Everything. Maybe people can go and put too much money for grant for our elders, you see, and job, create maybe jobs, you see, and maybe it's going to be better. Let's hope that they are going to change, you see.
And what's your take, sir? You're also another Zimbabwean national that has been in South Africa for a while. What do you think of the outcome of the election? It looks like the ANC is on course to win another majority.
I'm happy for ANC, and I still think people, they must have faith on Ramaphosa. Maybe you can change things. What I hate is us as Africans. Why do we have to discriminate each other? We are all Africans. We don't have to discriminate each other. We all blacks, and we have to fight poverty together. As they say in ANC, together we can, but alone you can't.
So what do you think needs to happen in South African society to deal with things like xenophobia and the attitudes that South Africans have towards expats? Because a lot of parties in this election campaign have been very adamant that illegal migration into South Africa is a huge problem.
No, I don't think it's about illegal immigrants. It's part of some of its gangsterism, or people they will be trying to rope on their own. It's not about these guys of ANC or EFF or people of South Africa. It's those guys who are doing their wrongdoings by their side. They are just putting South Africans into this. I don't think if you are a human being you can treat someone like what they were doing there. It's just that there are some people who have got their own mind. I just wish that maybe if we can, all of us who are human beings, let's stop it and we try by all means to accommodate each and every one of us. I think we're going to be one nation. Like Malema, what he said, if you see a black Zimbabwean, it's like you are seeing a black South African. Or if they come to our country, we don't chase them. But if we are here, they start. Here we came to look for work. And why even now, I'm trying money super bad. They must also focus on that.
All right, well, that's the thoughts from the streets of Yeovil here. The hopes of the two gentlemen that we spoke to is that this election will deliver on the promises that were made about more opportunities in the South African economy, not only for South Africans but also for African migrants that have made their ways to South African shores. And I don't know if it might be a certain sense of calm before the storm, Michelle, with those announced, the final results due to be announced tomorrow evening. We're going to be continuing milling about on the streets of Johannesburg to get further reaction to the results thus far and the expectations of the people that voted, the people that didn't vote, the people that weren't eligible to vote as well. And we'll bring you the very latest from the streets of Joburg throughout the day and into the evening.
All right.